What's up? Y'all better be up. Supposed to be celebrating today. Y'all supposed to be celebrating. Come on, who's there already? Early up. Lisa and Ellen, brother Joseph in heaven. Joseph, you ain't working today. Brother, get to work. You're supposed to be slaving today. Brenda and Carrie, Susan, Anelda, Patricia, everybody coming in. But y'all not working today? What's going on? Something happening today y'all supposed to know about. Did I miss the email? Did the email go around? I'm supposed to be, why is everybody home today? What y'all doing home? What's going on? Y'all need to go get your bags of cotton. Damn it. I got my bag of cotton. I'm about to start picking that. What the hell y'all? Good morning, Pat. How you doing? Yes, God help America. God help America. Buddha, the aliens, Shiva, Buddha. We need all of them. Bring all the guys. We need some help. We need, oh, goodness gracious. We can have church this morning, Pat. Oh, boy. Happy 4th. Yeah, today is the 4th day of July. It is. Yes, it is. Oh, goodness gracious. I think I'm going to have a little fun with this one. But yeah, it is the 4th of July. It's the 4th day of July. So what am I supposed to say? I'm supposed to wish everybody, what is today? What's he gonna say? He gonna say something depressing. He gonna say he's gonna be a buzzkill. He gonna say something true. I'm gonna be happy. America. Hold on, wait. Oh, it's the 4th of July. Independence Day. Independence from what is what I asked. I'm just curious. What exactly? Somebody tell me exactly what am I independent from? I used to be a dependent on something, and now we're not dependent on something. Please, somebody tell me. I'm just curious. I don't know. Do I look like I know the answer to that question? So we're dependent on that King George III. That's 30. 30. We're dependent on King George III, and we're not dependent on him no more. So I agree. America is independent from King George III. He died. He's dead. He went crazy. Gave it to his son. He died. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Oh my goodness. But are we free? Are we independent? Are we I had a couple questions. All right. So I was a kid. Here, let me stop. I gotta stop the music. Stop the music. I gotta make sure I got my video ready, because there's gonna be times on the day today I'm gonna need to say a few things. I'm gonna say, cue the fireworks! Cue the fireworks! America! We're free! America! Y'all see the rockets red glare? Y'all see all the rockets in the street? That's not right. Them bottle rockets. They're not real rockets. They're just, all right. I'm just cue fireworks. That's gonna be my fun thing to do. So what are we free from? I get it. Everybody wants me to be happy, run around, go to the fireworks show, yeah, scream. Now, I like fireworks, don't get me wrong. I do like fireworks, and I might actually go see some fireworks. But I remember as a kid, I grew up in Maryland, you could only use jumping jacks. You couldn't use I don't think bottle rockets, where they were illegal. You couldn't have the, what are the cannons where you shoot the cannon, Roman cannons, you couldn't have those. You couldn't have cherry bombs. We had all of them. We had every last one of them. We had all of them. We went to Arkansas. We go to Arkansas. We go to West Virginia. We get our fireworks. But in a free country, aren't you even supposed to be able to buy your rockets red glare, your bottle rockets red, if we're free, if we're truly independent? All right. So anyway, my question. All right, I gotta get my comment so I can get serious for a minute. Let me get serious. Y'all want me to be serious? We free. We're independent. We're free. What are we free from? Free of? So I have a theory. This is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking that a child that grows up in a house that has to ask mommy for allowance is a dependent, right? Because legally, that's how it goes. If a child, if you 50% of your income is not made by you, and you got to go to mommy and ask, and then on your taxes, you are a dependent. You are a child. You're dependent. You are dependent upon somebody else for every damn thing, for your whole lifestyle. That person can tell you when to rake leaves. That person tells you when to cut grass. That person tells you when to go beat up the neighbor's other kid for your son, for your other kid. Yeah, that parent thing, it tells you when to go to war. It tells you every damn thing. Because you don't control yourself. You don't own yourself. You're not free. You're not independent. So if a child that has to beg mommy for allowance is free, what is a nation that has to beg the Fed for money? What is a nation that has to beg private banks for money? What is a nation that is completely indebted to them? Now, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to tell you that I can explain fractional reserve banking. I cannot. I listened to Joseph Peters explained it. I listened to somebody else who's real smart and somebody else who's real smart. And what I got from that is bad. It's bad, and we can't ever pay the loan back. That's what, because every time we take a loan out, so it's not even that we're getting a bad loan. It's not a bad loan. It's not a bad, like if you buy a car and you get 24% interest, that's a bad loan. That would be phenomenal. Phenomenal compared to what America has. Every time we borrow money, there's not enough money to actually pay back the money. Do you get, this is what I got from the talk. Like if you listen, I'll post a link. You smart people, y'all can listen to it. But we get loans from the Federal Reserve on the fractional reserve banking system. And the amount of money that we owe back, there isn't that amount of money in the currency they actually print. You understand that? That's not free. It's not free. King Georgie, Georgie, when Georgie gave us money, we actually could pay the money back. We could take a debt out from the king, get some ships and some muskets and some cannons and stuff. If we got to fight Mexico or somebody, we could actually pay it back. He only gave, what did he give us, like 5% on the dollar? What was T? 3%, 5%, something like that? And now what do we pay? 20, 30% interest on income, and then taxes on cigarettes and cannabis and everything. And so I'm just sitting here thinking, what exactly, how is it that a child who has a better deal than we have than their parents, because mommy doesn't make you pay it back. My mother gave me a whole bunch of loans. As a baby, I used to go out buy a He-Man, I buy some G.I. Joes with the Kung Fu grip. I buy a whole bunch of stuff. And mommy never made me pay it back. The only thing I paid, mom might call and say, damn it, come get my weeds. You know, I go down there and pick some weeds. You know, damn it, the deer eat my fruit trees. I go down there and put a fence up, you know, so mama kind of get the money back. But for the most part, I'm kind of living free from mommy. I'm free from parental tyranny. But the question is, what exactly are we celebrating? I'm thinking it's psychological. I'm gonna do more comments this morning than I've really done, because I want somebody to tell me why I should be out there yelling and screaming. Hold on. Yelling and screaming. Somebody cue fireworks. Woo! America! They're free! Yes! We make our own decisions! Yes! I'm gonna go throw me some cannabis. Rockets, red. I think it's psychological. Hold on, let me show you this. Let me show you this. Look at this. Look at this right now. I think it might be psychological. This might be psychological. Because think about it. If you raise people and every year they have this, yes, who is that? Dana said it, mind control, this psychological thing that we look at the rockets, red glare, and we're like, we're free. It makes us feel good. We're free. I got to go to work tomorrow. Did I pay my bills? Am I late on my mortgage? We're free, but we're free. And I got to pay the banks back. And the bank's got to borrow more money, and they can't pay back because the money doesn't exist. So they got to take more money from me. I got to take out more loans, and we're free. But I think looking at the explosions, boom, 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 and it makes you feel good. You hear the crowd. Yeah, we're free from Britain. We're free from that bastard King George. We're free. And it makes you feel good. Psychologically, it makes you get up the next day and go to work. It makes you get up and pick up your cotton bag, go pick some more. Why is it important to people around the world who, again, you know, they watch it, it's like, well, this is America talk. This is not America talk. Because just as your father can say, now go beat up the Johnson's boy because it beat up your little sister. You know, just as your father can send you to war, King George could send you to war too. Why? Because it's about the coffers. It's always about the coffers. Because what was a king? A king had all the gold. The king had the money. Anything that you need to do, you need to go to the king for a loan. The king had all the money. The king was the bank. So we got away from King George and we took in King Fed. Before that, somebody else. Remember, we had the greenbacks, and I forgot, was it Jackson? We had the greenback. Was it Lincoln? Lincoln also was trying to make a currency. Central banks have always trying to come back, right? The king, the coffer, that model of a nation being indebted to something, doesn't matter if it's a king, you can call it whatever you want to call it. That has always been trying to sneak back in. And why is it important to anyone around the world? Because we got drones, we got guns, we got bombs, we got tanks. And anytime that Fed says, you know what, you need to go next door, beat up their son because they beat up your little sister. Or go beat up their son because, I don't know, I want to steal something from them. They can send us to war anytime they want because we're indebted to them. And how it works on this sick, ignorant level of the same corporations being beholden to those banks, the corporations, the military industrial complex, when they need money, they need to make more Raptor F-35, 72, 70, whatever they M1, what we at, M1A2, M1A3, M1, they probably got M1A9 tanks now. They go to the banks and get the loans to do it. We're all going to the banks. We're not free. I submit that a wife, a housewife, that does not have her own currency is not free. I submit to the court for review that a wife that doesn't have her own currency will be subject to all types of abuse. Could be. I submit to a court that the reason Saudi women aren't driving cars, although they finally legalized it for some of them, is for control. The reason the wife can't have her own currency, going back in previous, actually some people today now, actually some husbands today. There's some husbands today. The wife got the money. You sit back, honey. You sit back in there and play your little game station and sit in your box of shorts before she come home. You better make sure the kitchen is sweet. You better make sure the cat grass is cut. You better make sure the house is clean. Dinner better be gone. But a spouse, like a child, dependent, who does not have their own currency is not free. You can't make your own decisions. Currency is survival. Currency is power. Currency is all of that. So how is it that a nation that does not have its own greenback currency, because the dollar is not the United States money. Did you hear what I said? The dollar is not the United States money. It is not in God that it is entrusted. It is completely owned by central banking private banks. Some people call them Rothschild banks. I don't know anything about that. But what I do know, we are not free. We are not independent. We don't make our own decisions. Partially is why the Constitution means absolutely nothing. We are in immense debt. We are beholden to the banks, and they make all of our decisions for us. Constitution means nothing. This is why you have a war on drugs. This is why you have a Department of Education. This is why you have Homeland Security. This is why you have a police state. You have all of these things because the banks don't give a damn about none of that. All the banks care about is you keep buying money. You keep spending, you keep earning money. You keep spending money. Money is debt, like we talked about it before. Every dollar you earn is debt. You indebt the country more to every dollar you earn, every dollar you spend. It's brainwashing, but it's psychological. It's psychological because it's easy if you go years and you don't think about us being trapped in this system. But again, they cue the fireworks. Woo! Yes! We love it. We got a freedom. Get you some hot dogs. Woo! I suspect that one day America is going to use its value. It's going to lose its value to these banks. And I think that's what we need to be fearful of. Like we can look at there's a lot of stuff in the news, a lot of stuff in the news. And I wait because I know somebody has something intelligent for me. They're going to tell me why I should be celebrating my independence from Bank A to go to Bank B. Bank A, King George III, to Bank B, Federal Reserve. And I would bet you one of my friends know. I don't know, but I bet you one of my political friends know. I bet you they'll go back and do the research and they'll find out that the same families that were behind the banks and the coffers and working with the King George III in his coffers are probably the same bastards that got America. I would bet you sometime during the American Revolution, they probably got to a place and say, you know what? These little irritating Americans, damn it, I'm sick of these people. They're fighting us tooth and nail. This fight's gonna go on forever. They're gonna die down to the last one fighting to get away from Britain. What can we do? I suspect one day they just realize, you know what? Let them have their freedom from Britain. Let them do it. We'll enslave them another way. They don't want to see redcoats. They don't want to see our muskets walking around. But we can enslave them to debt. And that began a lot of the modern colonization. So, I mean, this is not a buzzkill. I don't want to buzzkill nobody. I want to go to the barbecue, look at the fireworks and be happy. Don't tell me I'm a slave. You are a slave. The truth will set you free. See, my concern more of, it's not for us. I don't really care so much about us. I'm concerned with us, but I'm a little more concerned with our future. I'm more concerned with where are we going, not where we are today, what we got to deal with today. We live really ignorantly wealthy. We've done good. We had good lives. Look around America. I mean, there's some really bad places, but there's some really amazing places too. And in general, compared to what other third world nations that we keep in the third world, because those banks make a lot more money by keeping them in the third world, they're doing really bad. So I think we probably do got to sometimes swallow our pills. Like, you know, you spill the milk in the kitchen, one of my best analogies. Come on back in the house, mama see you spilled milk all over the kitchen floor. You don't want to clean it up. You want to go outside, play with your friends, ride your bike, do something. And it sucks that you got to go in and clean the milk up, but damn it, you spilled the milk. America, we gave up our country. We were played, we were tricked, all of that stuff. But we actually don't own our country. We don't own anything. Half the nation still fighting Trump, and half the nation is still worshiping him. Like, it's really actually pretty. All right. I know I'm off. I don't know if we're gonna get to the news. I'll try to, but one piece of news I gotta say, and I'm looking at some comments. Look at the comments. Maybe y'all can tell me why I should be happy. I should go and like and share all of these happy 4th of July posts. I should be wishing everybody happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day. But I'm not understanding that I'm independent from anything. I'm not seeing it. And by the way, in the prison system, where you got all these people who just were following their own constitution, they were being the constitution, and they were doing free things, and we put them all in prisons. Do they celebrate the 4th of July? Do they celebrate independence? Do they give them an extra cut of meat? Do they give them some more rice? How do they celebrate their independence from following their constitution on their own land, doing things that they by law can do, the law of the land? All right, so anyway, here we go. Oh, no, one thing I did want to mention. One thing I got to mention. So they rescued the boys. It's 12 boys, the soccer team in Thailand, and the coach. Problem is they think they might have to stay there for months. I have an issue with this. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. I think the kids need independence from that damn cave. That's what I kind of think. It sounds weird to me that you're going to leave the kids in the cave for a couple weeks, couple months. Now, I don't know anything about it. They say it's hard to get out the cave. I think they're like almost 6 kilometers or 6 miles inside the cave. And they got to go through different dive tunnels to try to get out, flooded tunnels. But they're in the middle of the monsoon season. Flood levels are rising. And I'm slightly concerned that this is kind of Hollywood Ed Bernays-ish. I'm a little concerned with that. Why are you telling me that these kids got to stay in this damn cave for a couple weeks to a couple months? There'll be a lot of media. There'll be a lot of press. You have a lot of people down there in camps making money. broadcasting, well, we're taking this into the kids and we're playing with the kids. They don't have no light in the cave. You see the pictures? They don't know why y'all can't get a light bulb in the cave, get some flashlights or something. The only light you see in the cave with all these kids huddled in the cold is the lights from the camera. I'm a little concerned that this is kind of media-ish. It's like my belief, I was telling someone yesterday, I always think the mirror is the problem. You know, like we blame the media for a lot of things. And it's true that we've been played in a lot of ways. But when you turn on the news, you just want to know the weather. Do you go to the weather station where the guy's, he's got the Poindexter glasses on. He's just talking, well, today it's going to be a little mild, 75 degrees, might have a wind gust down maybe 10 miles an hour. Or do you look at him, or do you look at the gal who's in the dress, the button is loose and she's holding to the pole and the wind is blowing? She's like, houses blowing by in the background and kittens flying by. Of course, because we like the drama. We have an issue. Around the world, we have a major issue. And it builds up into this whole entertainment industry. So the news channels and the channels that lie, or not lie, let's say, initially they sprinkle a little too much sugar on the story. And they make it a little more entertaining. People tune in, people watch. You go from news being an hour a day to 24 hours a day, and they fill up that day with entertaining sensationalism. So I don't really blame the media as much. I'm just thinking, like, why don't they get the tanks? Because there was one guy, I think he was an Australian diver, and he said, we can teach the kids how to swim. We give them face masks. We'll go tunnel to tunnel to tunnel to tunnel, and we'll get them out. We'll bring out the ones who are most confident first. And so I don't know. This thing goes on for weeks and months. I'm going to be a little upset. Anyway, let's look at the comments. Made to believe they're free. Yes, Elaine, that's what it is. They cue the fireworks. Cue the fireworks. And they make us believe we're free. They make us say we're free. They make us sing America the Beautiful. They make us, say the pledge. It's repetitive, right? It's repetitive and it's psychological, where they walk you into believing you are absolutely free. I'll celebrate with cannabis, but I do every day. Hashtag resistance. Go on, Crystal. That's a good resistance. That's a good celebration. Not if the police find you. That's a bad one. You're gonna have some non-independents in the prison, but it's a good celebration because you're actually resisting something that is unconstitutional. That's a good thing. Banks don't like that. Anything the enemy doesn't like, they don't like. King Fed, Lisa said, yes, I'm with you. I'm with you, because that's what I'm thinking. I'm with you, Lisa. I think they replaced the king for the King Fed. I think maybe we need to hashtag and start calling it King Fed. We need a Great Depression. Stacy, I believe you, and I agree with you. But I think that we already are. I suspect we already are, because what is the definition of a depression? A definition of was it repression? A repression? Is it a repression? You're messing my terms up. But is it the first level recession? Not recession. I said repression. You gotta drink more coffee. A recession is what? A negative quarter. A depression is 3 consecutive negative quarters. And I heard a governor I was talking about that America's in a depression, and America's been in a depression for decades. They play with the numbers, they play with the stats. But I look around and I see signs of a depression. I don't see people doing really, really good. I see a lot of people doing really, really bad. And I see some people living high on the hog, as they call it. But I think we might already be in a depression, but we don't know it. We don't know it because there's a lot of good things on television. We got Netflix, cue the fireworks, It can't be a depression because we're free. We're free of Britain. So it can't be a bad thing. All right. Good morning, YouTube. Hey, what's going on? The preamble to the Constitution is pretty independent. I would recite that instead of sing the anthem if I were an American. Well, I'm afraid that we're at a place where we maybe shouldn't be singing nothing. I don't know. Go on a ledge here, might get in trouble. I think we're in a place where we need to probably stop doing these things. And this is why I support Kaepernick. This is why I support I understand what he's doing. Like, if you really think about the depth of it, not the whole, I like the NFL and I love my country. Not that. Just think about the depth of what he actually is protesting, like we talked about yesterday. Yeah, he's standing up against some really horrible, foul things that the police state is doing. You know, he did it for the sake of a certain group of kids, but we realize why it's done. And why is it done? Because banks own our country. Why does the government not give a damn about your constitution? Because they're not paid. They're paid not to. They're paid to give your rights to corporations while your kids starve. Hang on, I got to plug in my thing. I'm all excited to get going this morning to talk about non-Independence Day. I forgot to plug in. I got to plug in. You don't have no power, man. Hold on, this is going to look bad. I was not ready this morning. Okay, there we go. Now I got power. Now I can make sure I see the comments. All right. What else we got? Talking about truth this, truth that. People agree. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm not an anti-patriot because I think being a patriot is that. I think being a patriot is patriot. And this is why, we might have to talk about something though, outside of our non-independence. I probably get in trouble for this one. All right, so Trump did something. I feel like I gotta put it out there. What did he do? He repealed something that Obama did, which is what he's supposed to do, because that triggers you. Like, Obama's a prince and we worship. Hail Obama, walks on water, you know. And hail Trump. So he repealed something Obama did. And he always says Obama did this, so I got to undo it. To me, I think that's the show part. That's the showman part of him. He repealed for colleges something to do with affirmative action. Right. Making sure that certain percentage of minority students are in Ivy League schools. So I'm going to be honest with you. I got to say something first about Ivy League schools. I'm not a big college guy anyway. I went to college, but I'm not a big college guy. I'm not a big university guy. I'm a big go and get the education you need to do what you got to do. And sometimes that's going to higher education. Sometimes that's not. I went to school. Everybody went to school and, you know, we don't make a whole lot of money. And a lot of people I know came out of school, they're still making just above minimum wage. And a lot of people who went to trade school and they became plumbers and electricians, they're doing things with their hand and building houses and stonework, they're making six-figure incomes. So I'm not really, I think you got to follow your passion, follow your dreams. However, affirmative action, which I can't talk about affirmative action. I was not around at that time. I don't know the climate. If I was kind of around at that time, I don't know a whole lot of stuff. But in terms of today in colleges, what makes sense? Well, to me, what makes sense is simply this. If we say this race thing doesn't exist, and it does not, it's scientific, it does not exist, why would we prioritize and push other people out who don't have that particular race if we say race doesn't exist? If science already answered that. I get the intent. But this is what I always see. I always see the Democrats, they pull back so stupid hard, illogically, to piss off the other side. And so it's just minorities and we push poor white kids and they don't need as much of a chance. And then the Republicans on the other side, well, they don't need anything. Just everything, the class structures are fine. Keep them locked in place. We won't do any damn thing for anybody. And I think logic is always in the middle. Logic is always in the middle. And why do I suspect that they always do that? To screw each other, to polarize everyone, get everybody fighting, divided up? Because the simple is actually the solution is actually pretty simple, I think, right? So in terms of the Ivy League schools and affirmative action, is the issue poverty or is the issue race? That's what you got to ask yourself. That's question one. Is your issue you're not happy because certain people with certain solar spectrum skin color aren't being shown on a campus, or because people who don't have opportunity, who have the aptitude, actually aren't making it in those schools? And to me, that's the issue. To me, there's a whole social economic thing that goes on. But I think a kid born in a trailer park, the Appalachian Mountains, Washington, D.C., Detroit, wherever it is, if they have the aptitude and they come up in a crappy school system, because all of those kids, they're like sharing crayons and pencils and books for 10 years. And if they can actually come up in a public education system and excel to a point where they can make it to a Yale or a Harvard, I think that's what affirmative action should be for. I don't think affirmative action should look at gender, skin color, or any of these other little silly things. I think it should look at poverty. I think those schools should be diversified by kids from different income segments. That's what I think. I think that you take, because see, the funny thing to me is when you put the racism stuff in there, it gets people pissed off, right? It gets emotional. It's dramatic. It sells newspapers. It gets people on Twitter pissed off. I bet you they're blowing up right now on this Twitter thing. Oh my God, Trump, you're a racist. And they're going crazy and stupid. But instead of like having a common sense solution, I think that's in the middle that I think most people would understand and go for. Like if the issue is poverty, not solar radiation. So anyway, he did that. I figured I want to say 2 cents about that. Let me see what y'all still going on about. All right. We have to make it true with what we believe is true. Yes, Lisa, and they make it true, right? They tell us we're free, and so we believe we're free and we go on with it. Look at the pretty colors. Yes, look at the pretty colors. Not the man behind the curtain. Exactly, Alicia. Wizard of Oz. Look at the pretty curtains. Ignore the flying monkeys. The flying monkeys, they're not even flying. Just ignore. You're free. Yes, Buddha, absolutely. Inclusion. I'm seeing the bottom of the thread and I'm going to the top of the thread too. Inclusion, right? Be inclusion based. I would like to see you, first of all, I'd like to see universities be free. That's number one. I'll be honest with you. It's not a liberal thing. It's not a liberal thing. Dummy, pay attention. This is not a liberal stance. The liberals might have taken the concept, but since the beginning of time, education was always free. We always taught kids how to do this. We met with different tribes. We showed them how to do this and where to find the food and blah, blah, blah. The same higher education that happens today, we always gave free in the past. Always gave it free. You know, then people say, well, nothing's free, nothing's free. Damn it, how did we just start off this broadcast? They print every dime that they need. When you own your currency, you can print as much as you want as a nation if you're free. If you're a child in the house, you don't have to be a dependent. You can print currency. You don't have to ask mommy for nothing, you know? And so if you print your own currency, of course you can go and you can make colleges free. You can educate everybody, but that's not what it's, you know, we can't have a fair and balanced discussion on the topic, because it's always about locking in that class structure, right? Like that's the screw. Like the extreme right, they believe in this concept of locking in the class structure, keeping the poorest poor, no matter who they are, just immensely poor, starving to death in prison class. And the stupid left, they believe in giving money selective to certain people, helping out certain people, and screw everybody else, even though the poor white kids were born into impoverished conditions just as well. And that's how they get everybody. They get you on your own racism, whether well-meaned or not. They get you on your own racism, right? Racism, and it's funny thing, because y'all are like so extreme, fighting everybody, so stupid, and like I said, I'm laughing at it, and it's crazy, because you got the right and the left, and they're fighting back and forth. And I got a buddy, he's in the Klan, and he sends me blues music. And I'm just like, oh, thank you, brother. That's nice. That's you can't make this country up. We crazy as all hell. Joanne, take your MMT cult out of here. We've all heard Steve Grumbine's spill. Okay, Ellen. All right. So, okay, I didn't know MMT or something. And I'm not anti-MMT. I'm not anti anything. I just like to ask the question, long term, does this solve the problems of the world? And if the idea long term solves the problems of the world, then it makes sense to me. And I don't know tons about MMTs. I won't go on about MMT. What I will say is there are a lot of different ideas and solutions and cryptocurrencies, and everyone's got their ideas. Staying locked into the US dollar is a bad idea. That's no doubt. But could we flip from King George III to the Fed, the fourth, you know, to cryptocurrency or modern monetary theory, the fifth? Of course we could, right? Because the same powerful people own everything. They can take anything they want, right? So I like to look at the root problems. I'm not against anything. And sometimes you have to make progressions to get somewhere. You know, and maybe that is one of the progressions we make. I don't know. Like same thing with universal basic income. I'm for that because it will help people as we get to where we need to get to. But the corporate guy inside of me in putting together projects in corporate America, you always have to have the end game, right? You have a strategic plan and you have a tactical plan, right? Strategically, this is where we want to be in the end. Tactically, this is what we got to do to get there. We got to make sure that our troops don't die, people don't, you know, And so universal basic income to me was a tactical solution to help us get to a place when money's not going to exist anyway, right? In making sure that people don't die on the farm and die in trailer parks and die in the ghetto while we're trying to invoke a system that takes care of the basic needs of every human being. And so the I guess MMT and some of these ideas, they might be stopgap tactical solutions. Anything that takes more power from King George, Fakin being the King Fed, anything that takes power from him is a good thing. My problem is we get locked into the tactical plan and we don't look at the bigger picture, right? The big picture for me is, like I've always said, rape is a bad idea. Murder is a bad idea. Violence is a bad idea. All of these things, mass incarceration, taking people's rights, all these things, the psychopath, the violent psychopath that we're cranking out like hotcakes are all bad ideas. The behavioral scientists tell us where they're coming from. They're coming from the scarce communities. They're coming from the impoverished communities. So the idea that we continue with a monetary system worldwide is a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Tactically, we got to make some changes. I'm all for any changes, anything that reduces the power of the Fed, anything that puts food in people's mouths so they don't die. Those are good things. But we have to stay focused on the long-term goal. The long-term goal is taking care of people, period. Taking care of people, food, house, water, bare necessities to live. When people have those things, they're not violent. They don't become psychopaths. Rape drops, abuse drops, gun use, all these things, they almost all but go away. And this is the behavioral scientists. It's not me saying this. These are the neuroscientists that are saying it. I always go back to epigenetics and the warrior gene. So if we don't like war, we don't like violence, we don't like school shootings, we don't like murder, we don't like rape, we don't like abuse, we don't like pedophiles, we don't like all these things that people say that they don't like. If it's not just lip service, then you always stay focused on the end game. So that's my stance on that. I don't want to talk too much about that. I don't believe in money. Money is useless. Money is about to go away. So it doesn't really matter what idea we have for a monetary system, because that was my background. Robots build for free. Okay. The software I wrote, writing you out of a job, my team wrote, it's going to write you out of a job. It doesn't give a damn about any of your monetary systems. It's going to do it and 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 do it. And we'll pause it to upgrade it. It's going to do it some more efficient, more efficient, more efficient, more humans fired. So money is going away. It is going away. Human labor is the currency since the beginning of human history. It will be gone. So putting in stopgap permanent tactical solutions doesn't actually solve the problem. It actually is a Band-Aid and duct tape. So I'm not against it. I just think that we need to always focus on the real problem, the root problem. And if the root problem is people like, I want gun control, same thing. When you take away the reason people want the guns, then they don't have the guns. I want to stop wars. Okay, well, why do wars happen? Oh, because governments can rob, loot, kill people and steal their countries, literally. Oh, well, what if they're not allowed to do that anymore? War goes away. What if they can't rob money? What they can't do? Rolling out the debt solutions and conflict minerals and goodness, Brother Don just posted it the other day. We steal their minerals and we make a business out of stealing their minerals and we push them into debt. The brother who wrote that book, somebody had posted it. But when you make a system, when you change the model so that the government's not allowed to do that, they don't do it. See the root cause. That's why I'm a root cause problem. Let's handle the problem at the root. So I'm not trying to blow away anybody's ideas or anything. I'm just is it going to solve the root problem? If it's not going to solve the root problem, then it could fit the tactical. It could fit the tactical, but the long-term solution has to be something long-term. Otherwise, it's not sustainable. Why are my comments frozen? I don't see no comments, man. What's going on? Oh, I can see them over here. I got comments in different sections. It's a crazy thing. Well, let's look at YouTube. What's happening on YouTube? I had to look up the definition of ordain the Constitution. Ordained definition is to invest officially. Got me there ish. I have no idea. Why did you wish me a happy 4th of July ish? I just said don't. You don't follow instructions. Say happy 4th. Don't wish me no happy. I'm not happy. Yeah, actually, I am happy. I'm happy. And it's the 4th. It's the 4th day in July. That's all it is. Oh, you wish me a happy 5th of July too? Okay, well, thank you, Ish. I appreciate that. I had to reboot this thing here because the comments dropped off. So hopefully again, that's my position on MMT and all of that stuff. You do need tactical stuff, so I'm not a hater. As long as we know the long-term solution is money's not going to be here. Interesting read, The Value of Things by Cummings and Luwinas. I can't even pronounce the name. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. I will take a look. You know, it's my pleasure, Crystal. Okay, Crystal did something. Good job, Crystal. Why Sinclair? You can't possibly spend it away, huh? Uh-oh. All right, so this is some conversations happening here. I have to get into the conversation in a minute because I don't see the original statement. Prison inmates will be trained to work jobs for free in the future. Yes, they will, Ellen. I mean, they already work for what, like 3 cents, 2 cents. They work for almost nothing. I mean, they're already a slave labor force. The Clintons had them at their own mansion. Around the world, you see private prisons as a model coming out in other countries. And so, but again, there is no constitution. You know, we're under admiralty law. So we actually don't get to, and plus you got a large majority of the population who are actually yelling and screaming, the Constitution needs to go away. It needs to be updated. It's an outdated document. It supports slavery. All these things that are untrue. Untrue. Now, was it perfect? Hell no. It was perfect. They forgot that a whole bunch of people, including women, were actually human beings, but the model was solid. The model was solid, but our follow through is what sucked. I think we were probably free and independent for moments in human history, for moments, but this is not one of them. Muammar Gaddafi was a great man. Brother Anthony, I agree with you. I agree with you that he was a great man. I agree, though, also that he probably was a little in the special area. I don't know what's totally true about him. Like, you know, they talk about the things that he did and having his sex slaves or whatever. And I know that that's promoted. I know that Washington has theirs. People in every administration in Congress and the UK got caught doing it, and Hollywood got caught doing it because psychopaths always bubble to the tops of these things. But they focus people on that. The reality is he was going to unite the continent of Africa on one currency. That would have been a phenomenal thing. That's what I was talking to somebody the other day about it, which was what we need to build up strong neighbors. When you have strong neighbors, you can have a world independence. When you have your own little, what you think might be independent in your own little country, that's not independence, worldwide, you have nobody to help you. Right? Like right now that we talk about, America's not free. America was bought. We were literally bought. And once we were bought, we were pushed into further and further and further debt by our consumerism, which is the whole Edward Bernays thing we keep going back to. And so we're digging in deeper and deeper and deeper every generation. And there's nobody that can help us. Nobody. Like, think about it. Who can take on America? Military-wise, nobody. America could literally take on the entire world and might actually win. It's not going to be a world left. Whoever's left is going to die. But literally, America actually has a military might to almost do that. You know, which is why all the anti-NATO talk is coming out, because America doesn't really have to do this. America can pull back within its borders, let whatever happens happen, and go out and just thrive and take whatever it wants after that happens. Nobody can oppose America. But when you promote people like Gaddafi, you promote other strength in other countries and on other continents, then they check each other. You can have a check and a balance. If they have some sort of an independent, free-ish model, if it ever does what America does and it walks away from being free and it becomes a police state, then you might have some support. Why did we win the American Revolution anyway? Somebody came to help us. Who can help us now? Nobody. That's why it's insanity for me when people talk about revolution, like revolution, we need a revolution. I'm just sitting here like, really? All right, good luck with that. In New York, all the ladies about to start the revolution. Y'all good luck with that. Y'all start a revolution because you hate Trump. All righty, let me know how it goes. I'm gonna go in my bunker. I'm gonna hide out. I'm gonna wait till the DHS is finished doing whatever they got to do. Don't call me. Don't, come on, get your gun, follow me. No, don't call me. No, I didn't even want your phone record coming to me. Don't do that. I'm not answering the phone. You know, there's nobody to come and help you. They will destroy you. One thing the American government knows very well, and they utilize it every presidential administration. They will murder the hell out of you and not give a damn. They're good at it. They're phenomenal. We're not free. They don't even control themselves. And that's why I'm not even like mad at Congress or the president or anybody. They don't control themselves. Literally, the banks can pull the marker, they can pull the credit and drop us into that Great Depression, which would be an amazing depression. Who was it? Crystal was talking about it earlier. Like, imagine if they did the same thing that started the Great Depression back then. They just called America on its debts. What do you think would happen? Back then, 80% of the population, over 80% of the population were farmers. We had tons of food for everybody. What do you think will happen if we did that today? What do you think if you actually got a president in the office and they were going to fight the deep state, they were going to bring about some hope and change, and they were going to make America great again? What do you think those banks would do? They'd say, okay, pay your debts back. It would collapse our economy. Because remember, they're not Americans who run that. They're not a governmental organization. The Fed is not American. They are a private corporation. They can pull us, they can call us on the debt anytime they want. They can stop printing money and collapse our society anytime they feel like it. And what do you think's going to happen? Like, we talked about the psychopaths that come out of these poor communities. We talk about how kids need to survive, and that's why you pick up guns, where rape comes from, where the gangs come from, murder and violence. Imagine now that, was it less than 3% of the country are actually farmers, and the vast majority are growing GMO corn and GMO soy? I don't think you can even eat those damn things. What in the world do you think would happen? So we're in a bad spot. We are in a bad spot. And there are many ways out. I think there are many ways out. And I think they're pretty simple. But the first step is actually accepting the truth that we are not free. We are not independent. Every time we spend a dime, every dime we put in the bank, we dig in deeper. Julius Caesar said, or Julius Caesar said, I came, I saw, I conquered. Sound familiar? Oh, Sandra does it. we came, we saw, he died. Crazy lady. What? I can't believe y'all. I'm still mad at y'all. I can't believe y'all voted for that woman. I'm not mad at y'all. I'm not mad. It was, you thought she was the best option at the time. Hillary said, oh yeah. Well, I have no doubts that Hillary studies Julius Caesar, right? I have no doubts. This is an empire. We are, but the sick thing is, I don't even think we control the empire. I think we are just the thugs. We are just the military on call anytime whoever controls all of this needs to go murder some folks and steal something. So American kids go off to die. And this is why I'm not happy, clappy, dancing and singing with the whole Independence 4th of July nonsense. We send American kids to go murder other people, ruin their lives. Some of them die, get maimed, lose body parts, shooting kids 13, 14 years old, come back jacked up. Don't give them any health care. They can't even smoke any cannabis. Those who don't die and come back in boxes. And I'm supposed to be jumping up and cheering, yay, America? These kids are 18 years old, 19 years old. These kids should be like riding bikes and going to parties and drinking till they pass out. They should be dating. They should be having fun. They should be going to colleges. And these banks and corporations are sending them to war. Because again, there's no American president that can say no to that. None. That's why I don't blame Trump for anything. People, come on, hate Trump with us. No, why? I wasn't with them hating Obama, and I'm not with them hating Trump. Every time I see a news article and it says the Trump administration or it says Trump, I don't even read it. I could care less. I move on to the next thing because it's stupid. They do that because it's brainwashing. They're brainwashing you. They're already trying, and it's not because I think all the newspapers are part of this whole massive cabal of taking and dominating the world. It's because the newspapers know how to sell money. I mean, they know how to sell newspapers. If they put Trump did something bad, they know if you hate Trump, you're going to buy it. And probably if you worship them, you'll probably buy it too, or you'll read it. They need you to read. And so those titles are designed to do that. And HRC added a quirky grin and laugh. Carrie, that was not a quirky. That was demonic. That was evil. That was monstrous. That was psychopathic. And Travis said he likes to blow stuff up with fireworks. Travis, we all did that. That's the boy thing. We did that. We actually went through the phase, like you go through the G.I. Joe phase, then you go through the BB gun phase, you shoot their heads off and all that stuff. And after a while, you start blowing them up with fireworks. I don't know. The women are like, huh? I know, but then you get your sister's Barbie doll and you stick a firecracker down its head and you blow it up too. We like to blow stuff, and there's nothing wrong with blowing stuff up. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with cue the fireworks. There's nothing wrong with it. But you know what? I wonder, like, can we do that and cheer waking up? Can we have like 4th of July? We actually want true Independence Day, you know? Can we have an actual, we really want emancipation because it wasn't in the proclamation? Can we really have that? Like, can we blow stuff up and get excited about like waking up? Can we get excited about we still have the internet? That, you know, we do have the internet, and now we can compare notes with people all over the world and know how bad all this is. I think that's a good reason to blow stuff up. But to blow stuff up because we got away from him and replaced his ugly face with the Fed's ugly face, and yet the Fed is still showing us where to go to war and how to live and when to live, how to live, where to live, and only he wanted 3% in taxes, and the Fed wants a hell of a lot more. I actually want him back. I'll be honest with you, I do. It's a better deal. It's just, you know, the art of the deal. Okay, Trump, you wrote the art of a deal. You should be trying to figure out how to get us back under Britain. This is good. Here's my Independence Day thing. I think you should be making a deal to figure out how to bring us back into the British Empire, like physically and like everything, because it's a better deal. 3% versus what, 13%, 20%? What do we pay? It's a better deal. That's all it is. And you get to have more of your paycheck. You get to have more of your money, and you actually probably get to have some more freedom if we brought King George. So I think we go back to the king, because well, think about it. Were the people considered human freer in his day? They were. You had your land. You could do whatever you want with your land. I don't think he even taxed you on the land. He was taxing for tea, tea and a few other goods. That actually was a better deal than the deal we got with the Fed. And we didn't celebrate back then. We were upset and mad and miserable in the mud. That would be a great deal. I think the art of the deal, you should make a deal, call the queen up. Queen A, Queen A. Little raggedy self, get on the phone. Yeah, baby, what can I do for you? Little crazy, nasty thing. We want to come home. Can we come home? We're sick of the Fed is just, they're raping us and they're killing us. They got 4 private prisons and they separating us at the borders, won't let no immigrants in, eating, killing babies, pedophile. Queen, can we come home? Yeah, baby, you can come home. You can come home anytime you want. You know, I think that's what we do. I think we go home. Britain, I want to come home. Britain, can I come home? Revolution is consciousness. That is all. What will save us? Yes, Lisa, revolution is consciousness. Revolution, love-lution. That is exactly what we need. People need to look in the mirror and actually criticize themselves. Think about their own complicity with this problem. Think about their strategies. Is your strategy an actual strategy to fix a problem? Or is it something that might be good tactically to get us to a place where we can fix it, right? Is hate Trump a real policy? Is hate Trump actually going to fix anything other than your ego? And if it's not, then maybe I'm not even gonna say that's a tactical one. That to me is just, I think we proved we didn't flip-flop presidents how many times, we didn't hit everybody except for women, cripples, and maybe Native Americans as president, but I don't think they're gonna make any difference either. Look at your long-term solution, your monetary idea. Is it an actual final solution? Is it sustainable, right? That's the question, sustainability. This is why to me it's all green. Everything is green, all of our problems, because we keep having these ideas come up and we don't ask the question, is it sustainable, right? That's the most important question. Is your idea sustainable? And if we know what's wrong with the world is money, because we know greed is the basis of the world's model, then we know people will always be murdered for what they have. People will always be in poverty. People will always be in prison. Slavery will always exist. Sex slavery will never go away until money goes away. Sustainability in your solution. That's why Lisa said it's a consciousness. It is revolution is a consciousness. It's about us rediscovering what we are. And now we have a lot of phenomenal people, very intelligent people, from the Terrence McKennas to the Ron Pauls to the who are some of the other greats, some of the phenomenal people, Ken Cousins to even like there's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of people who are like exploring and showing us the world is sick, the world is broken, like the political aspects and how money works in the monetary system, to the Fed, down to what we really aren't. You know, the religions that are actually waking up and realizing that we've been played, and that the religions actually aren't what these God things, creatures, spirituality, consciousness creatures, whatever actually said. That, you know, and the Terrence McKennas with the fungi and the Paul Stamens and how all that works together, and that you know, and then the quantum physicists, and they're actually putting together a true story that we know nothing. The world is broke. It can't stay the same. We were played by the same people, same families, all the damn time. That this will break unless we change. We can't change because we're divided. We're divided because we're stupid. We don't look at science. We shouldn't be divided because we're actually all connected and we're all one. And we're not following the religion things because we're not even doing what the basic principles of the books are. So it all brings you to a place of unity and consciousness. Like, there's a lot more going on than what we understand. And that's why I think it's all related. It's all connected. I thank you for that. It is all related and it's all connected. And that's why the revolution is in your mirror, not you forcing other people to buy into your unsustainable idea or solution. That's what I think. And I didn't mention Peter Joseph and Peter Joseph, Zeitgeist Moon, Venus Project, Jacques Fresco, rest in peace, brother. No such thing as chance. Only laws not recognized yet. Hermes. Deep quote, Crystal. Thank you. HRC added a. Okay, I'm a little too high up. Let me keep coming down. Go down. Go down. Go down. My highly educated and in debt, over their head son and daughter-in-law voted for her. That's why higher education. That's what higher education buys. Yes, Mary. It is. It's definitely indoctrination. And I'll try to say this in the nicest way I can say it. I don't know if I can say this in a nice way, Mary, but the most, I can say it in a nice way. I can say it in a nice way. The most educated people I know from the Ivy League schools with the best degrees are not the smartest people I know. That should, and if you feel the same, and if you think about who those people are, I think about the people I know that went to those higher educated schools, the ones we're all supposed to praise and worship because they got all these PhDs, got bachelor's degrees, PF, elemental P, CIPP, QRZ, all of that stuff. They're not smart people. They're not dumb people. They're book smart. But they seem to be order takers more than anything else. They seem to buy into corporations running everything. They seem to given up. They've been walked into this belief, like maybe it's something about going to school for 4 to 11 years and setting up psychologically your future. They don't want to change anything. They want everything to stay the exact same way it is. They want GMOs to continue to go in your belly. They don't care that they're making you sick. They want all the vaccines to go in your veins. They don't want them tested. They don't want the wars to stop because they realize that drives their income and their retirement. And that's the scary, sick thing. So I'm not against education, but I do understand the damages that it does. It might make you really smart on one thing. It might prepare you to do a job, but it does something with your humanity. It literally, and that's not all of them. It's not all of them, because I think I know critical thinkers who went and they got all those degrees and they came out and they're like, the system is broken, it's sick. One of the young ladies that actually sent me down this path, she went to, or she played her part. I won't put her on blast, but she went to, she worked with me at a pharmaceutical company. And she came to my desk one day and she said, I'm quitting. Don't take the I think it was the flu shot. Yeah, I think it was the flu shot. Don't take the flu shot. They're experimenting on the general public. And she worked in the research department. She was one of the ones who was working on this stuff. There are a lot of people who get higher educated, but they're still human beings. And when they see things that aren't supposed to happen, and then she quit. She walked out. They'll blow the whistle. You have these Edward Snowdens. You had the Julian Assange's happy birthday, by the way, Julian. So I'm not anti higher education. It's just, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Higher education shouldn't be higher indoctrination, more buy-in into this sick model that puts you higher up on the plantation. And now you're on the porch and you're looking at the slaves who aren't doing as well as you out in the field. But you don't want to shut down the plantation because you might lose your place as a lord higher up on that plantation. Being sitting on that porch as a minority, you're okay with all the white kids and the other minority kids out in the field picking cotton, your cotton, because you get to pour the lemonade because you're on the porch now. Now you can't sleep in the house. You'll never be the king. You're getting high up on that lord status and you're willing to sell everybody out. So I don't know, I'm college, I'm scared of it, Mary. I'm scared of it. So it does, and it was a funny, I think everybody I know that was higher educated to that degree, I think they all voted for Hillary Clinton too. I think they did. And guess what, Mary, they can't stand me. They can't stand me oh, they don't have nothing to do with me. You know what? You know why they can't stand me, Mary? It's because of people like you. Yeah, y'all, because y'all send me stuff and I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's true. We're not really free. We're not independent. Y'all send me stuff and it's like, okay, it's the facts. Facts are the facts. And I shoot the facts on. A lot of people don't want to know the facts because it affects their retirement. Yes, G, the dumbest prime minister we have was a Rhodes Scholar. Oh, Ish, is that okay? Same thing. Say so. Education is the same thing. Australia, Ish coming out of Australia, same thing. Might be the same thing in the UK. Might be the same thing. This is why it's important for third world countries. I keep saying, do your own thing. Don't do what we're doing. We've gone the wrong way. We did a lot of great things, like learn from a lot of the great models we have. I always bring up the founding fathers. We had a great model. It wasn't complete. It was heading in the right direction. It was one of the most freest governments that was ever set up, supposed to be. But then we failed. Look at what we do well, and then roll out your own style. Roll out your own flavor in your own culture, in your own ways that make sense to you, and put those leaders in power. If you find one of your leaders is a little too close to Britain, America, Australia, France, Spain, any of the big runners with the big banks, don't do it. Don't do it. Learn from our mistakes. Vatican runs everything. The city of London is the financial aspect of Washington, D.C. is the military aspect, world domination. Crystal, I don't know. It couldn't make sense to me. I know the Vatican is quite evil. They do some really bad stuff. The Pope went over to Myanmar, wouldn't even recognize the Rohingya Muslims. So I see people saying happy 4th. Who said that? Carla, you know better, girl. Don't say that. It's a happy 4th of July. I'm gonna do this for Carla right here. Happy 4th. Here you go. Right now. We're free and independent as new dependents. Herding their base. Yes, Brother Travis, that's exactly what they're doing. Herding their best. All they're doing. Try not to be in the herd. That's all I'm saying to everybody. Try not to be in the herd. Brother Scott came with Ron Paul. Yeah, love me some Ron Paul. I don't always agree with him. I agree with Ron like 98% of the time. The only place Ron, and I'll tell you the only place I disagree, and I voted for Ron. I voted for Ron twice. I wrote him in once and I voted for him. But the only place we disagree is the crony capitalism part. Like, I think there's a bigger aspect. Ron is big on free market capitalism. I like free market capitalism, but I don't like it as the basis of our society, right? Like, when you bring in the neuroscience effect, money has to go away. Money can't be the basis of what people, when kids are born, they have a right to have all the things that are on this planet. They do, especially if robots and software make them. That's the only spot I disagree with. Other than that, Ron nails everything. He was on the insides of it. He got it all. And so I don't believe in capitalism run the world. I don't believe in communism run the world. I don't believe in socialism run the world. Because no matter what happens, you always got a brother like that behind it. Right here, right here. Not, and you, I'm pointing y'all like, he's talking, yeah, he's pointing at the white man. No, I'm not, dummy. I'm pointing at the king. I'm pointing at a central psychopath that runs it. You can roll out whatever system you want. It's always going to be crony because all the power and the money in our world is controlled by a central group. Like I said, with these new monetary ideas, Bitcoin, whatever people come up with, they still run it. If you don't solve the problem at the root, you're wasting everybody's time unless it's a tactical solution. We need to get to a paradigm shift. We got to fix the world, and the world is not fixable by sticking band-aids on it. So I love Ron Paul to death, and that brother, oh man, he was instrumental in waking me up. He was instrumental. I love his son too. His son is off the hook. Rand is off the hook too. I wish he weren't a Republican, but he's off the hook. Rand Paul is the only guy in Congress. He's in Congress, Senate. I forgot where. No, he's in the Senate. The only senator who actually is talking about the war on drugs. The only one who's like in mass incarceration. That's why I got in trouble the other day. I always love to say it because I love to talk about it. Because it just makes sense. And the guy was like, you don't know what you're talking about. So I always hit him with the question, because I guess he was a dark Democrat. I won't say black Democrat. I say he was a dark Democrat. I just asked the question once again. I said, who put more minorities in prison, the Ku Klux Klan or the Democratic Party? He didn't say anything. He got quiet after that. He just got, but Rand Paul, he's talking about in mass incarceration. He's there talking about it. And that's the love in his heart, right? You got to have love. It's all about having love, not selective love because somebody looks like you, not selective love because they're in your state or your country, but just loving people across the board. Love people for what they are, not what they look like, and not because if you were born in that location, they were born in a different one. Let me see. Did we learn anything from Vietnam? Ellen, I think I learned a lot from Vietnam. Don't stay. We murdered the whole country. They say, we dropped more bombs on Vietnam than we dropped in all of World War II, something like that. The kids today are still being born with just all types of disformations and just the most horrible things you can imagine. The soldiers actually learned from Vietnam. The soldiers went back to some of them are back there now trying to help the communities, building things, doing anything they can because the American government refuses to admit that what they actually did. We should have learned from corporations, and it was all about the rubber, right? I understand Vietnam War, a friend of mine told us, it was about the rubber, it's about the rubber plantations. These wars are always lies, and they're always about corporate profits. Let me see. My flagpole stays empty since the day after 9/11. That's Brother Travis, but you understand what's going on. You're on it. You get it. It's not anti-American. Brother Chris, he's got his America hat. He puts the X on it. I don't think it's not anti-American. You just have to be a patriot for humanity. You still want to be a patriot to your country. You want to be a patriot to your state. You want to be a patriot to your township. You want to be a patriot to your neighborhood and a patriot to your family. And at the base level, a patriot to your humanity. And if any of those conflict with your patriotism to humanity, then they got to set back for a little bit. And so for me, the whole American flag thing, it has to set back a little bit. My whole family served in the military, so I'm not anti-American. I still consider myself, but I'm a patriot of the earth too. I'm a patriot of everything. I think that's the key, is to be a patriot. And every now and then you got to chastise your country. You have to chastise your politicians. You have to chastise them for continuing this Fed thing. Hashtag in the Fed. Let's try to get some independence back. Independence from the lies. Yes, that's what we need, Lisa. Can we be independent from the lies? Can we have some fireworks for that? Bill Clinton said, after you have president for a while, you find that someone makes all the decisions for you. Bill Clinton said that, Anthony? Stop. Bill said that? Whoa, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. But you know what? And okay, I'm surprised, but I shouldn't be. Because remember, all presidents release a little bit of truth every now and then. You know, Trump with the S-hole countries, Obama when he said the deep state's a real thing. You know, when the microphone, y'all remember the one when the microphone dropped, Obama was talking, the microphone dropped, and he's like, oh Lord. No, the teleprompter dropped. He was in Brazil or something. He's like, oh Lord. Somebody in the back of the room is getting nervous right now because they don't know what I'm gonna say. Everyone laughed like, ah. It's like, he said the truth. He just for a moment, Obama said the truth. For maybe 20 times as a president, you're allowed to say a truthful thing. That's deep. Look at that, brother Anthony. Thank you for that nugget. Love solution. Yes, Lisa, we got to get love back in that mirror. That we don't get anywhere unless we have respect for each other anymore. We're going to stay here unless we have love for everyone else's self-determination. Let everybody be everybody. Let them be them. Doesn't matter if they like you. That means nothing. Them liking you has nothing to do with us fixing the world. In fact, you need to be close to people who don't like you and make them like you. Our war is against these people right here. These 0.01% people that murdered and enslaved everybody that's watching this right now. Our issue is them. And it's don't cut their heads off. Somebody said that yesterday on Debbie's video. We need to cut their heads off. No, we don't. We don't need to cut anybody's heads off. I mean, it's not a violent thing we need to do. All we need to do is stop consenting. Every way that you can imagine. Stop consenting. Back away from supporting the people who took our freedom, who took this independence and made it a lie. Fireworks scare the hell out of animals. Yes, Diane, they do. So does thunder. It was thundering like crazy last night. Ironic, NAFTA makes good jobs and crime more possible, but migration of persons is a problem. Exactly. But that's because they brainwash everybody, Brenda, right? Like they teach everybody that trade wars are bad ideas and that international trade agreements are good things. And you get a lot of those really high PhD people clapping and singing and yay, we got NAFTA set up. We got TPP. We got all this stuff. It has nothing to do with us. None of it. None of it. In fact, if anything, I take that back. It's not that these trade deals don't have anything to do with it. They actually enslave us more. But they got us cheering for it. But again, those aren't in books that you're going to get in college. Those aren't in books that you're going to hear about on any of the mainstream media, not consistently. You know, those are in books that people on Facebook will try to lead you to. I got a book list, by the way. I do have an album. It's got a book list. When people recommend books and I get a chance to look at them, I'll put them on my book list. It's in my album, but that's where you get your education from. But the people are educated on the media. They're educated by the media. So this is just happens to be where we are. Most of us have been clueless. We're waking. Yes, Lisa, most of us have been clueless, and I'm still clueless. I'm getting a clue. I'm trying to get the hell out of a clue. I'm like Find Dory. I'm swimming. Keep on swimming, keep on swimming, keep on swimming. I'm trying to do my best to get many clues as I can. When I see something creepy, type human teeth, shoes into goggle. All right. I'm not sure I want to see something creepy right now, Carla, but I'll take a look a little later. Many PhDs have no common sense because they don't teach common sense. Common sense is against probably those who fund the universities. Debt to the system is greater. Yes, debt to the system is everything. They need the debt. That's our enslavement. It's not about cotton anymore. It's high electronics, it's clothes, it's cars, it's shoes, it's houses. It's the psychological ignorance that when you have more and you're more wasteful, it's a good thing. People liking that and sharing that and loving like the consumption of crap that we don't need. That's what it is. It's all money. On point, Gerard, different level of slavery. Yes, Sandra, spot on, but you're already there. You always post something that's good, you know. And that's another thing, you guys, you got to make friends. Don't take my word for it. Do not take my word for it. What I know is because my friends are a hell of a lot smarter than I am, and they give me good information and I trust it. When you see people posting things on these videos, you're supposed to go make friends with them. You're supposed to, you know, if you want to be polite and ask them to be friends, then do that. but it's about a community. You need to go talk to people who disagree with you. Find out why they disagree with you. Someone posts something that looks deep, you don't understand it, but it's factual and it breaks one of your narratives in your little birth privilege place. You're supposed to go make their friend and get more information. Like, you're like shattering my glass house. Why the hell are you doing that? Is it true? And if it's true, you need to follow that person. Pay attention to what they're saying. They're trying to help you. They're trying to educate you. Education isn't about higher education in school. It's about being educated on something you don't know. And if they can throw a factual stone that shatters glass in your house, it means your house is false. Don't you want to educate yourself out of that? Hey, Harsh, how you doing, brother? Good morning. I'm just about to shut down, man. I got to pick my cotton. Y'all don't have to work today. I got to work today. Master over there with a whip right over there. Master. Master right over there. I'm about to get in trouble. Lots of books are free on audio on YouTube. Yes, Alan. YouTube is probably, even though it's owned by Google, it is actually inspiring this love revolution. All they get, there's just too much information out there. There's too much information. And, oh, you know what? Just before I go, I am going to show this. Issue reminded me that I have to show this one news thing. And then I'm gonna go. Issue just thank you. Issue's talking about hashtag walk away. Actually made it on RT, which is why I watch RT. Every now and RT will put something true up there. Look at this right here. Let me see if I can show this to you. And then I'm gonna run. So this just went a little further beyond what I wanted to, but I did want to show this. This is they made some deep points on hashtag walk away. Made it on the RT. You don't see it on ABC. Not gonna see it on CNN. But you'll see it on RT because RT will troll the people who own America. Let me turn the music off. Hold on. Listen to this real quick.
Has become the face of an apparently growing movement among American liberals. He released a video which quickly went viral, calling on people to walk away from what he sees as the phony liberalism of the Democratic Party. We spoke to the man who started the campaign to find out what prompted it and why he thinks it's gaining momentum.
Well, I myself was a lifelong liberal Democratic voter. I would say kind of a Democrat by default because I'm a gay man. And I think that the expectation for a lot of minority groups is that we are supposed to vote Democrat and that we are supposed to be liberals. So I found myself sort of in that tribe on the left most of my life. But there were things for years that made me extremely uncomfortable as I started to see the identity politics and the politically correct culture just sort of take over common sense. It just began to get more and more out of control, and it was something that I could no longer tolerate. I find this behavior very, very oppressive. I knew other people were feeling this way, so I decided to create a campaign and create this video to kick off the campaign.
So I am walking away, and I encourage all of you to do the same. Walk away.
Walk away. Bye, Felicia. Bye. This ain't about, oh, do I got somebody else to go to? No, it's not about that. This is about being a patriot to humanity. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. You walk away. You'll find you date somebody else. Don't worry about it. You'll date another party. You'll find, not the Republicans, but it's Republicans too. Y'all need to hashtag walk away too. There should be no left and right. Hashtag walk away and walk back to humanity. So I'm gonna post that link. Y'all can watch the whole release on hashtag walk away. But he's saying the truthful things. Get your integrity back. You can have all the degrees in the world you want. If you don't have your integrity, you don't have anything. And I realize what my nation is doing around the world because we don't control our military. We don't control our government. I'm hashtag walking away from the 4th of July. I'm hashtag walking away from Independence Day because we're not independent. And I'm going to stop promoting the lie. I'm going to be real about it and know that we still serve the king. It's just his name is King Fed. In the Fed, y'all have a great day. Happy Wednesday. It happens to be the 4th day in the month of July. Love y'all. Bye-bye.